Hi, my name is Tyler Fornes, and I am the co-host of The Good, the Bad, and the Hunky here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Every week, my co-host Fred Moreland and I discuss all the happenings of All Elite Wrestling and everything going on in the universe of Tony Khan. We talk about Dynamite, we talk about Rampage, and we will talk about Collision when the time comes as well, along with all the appearances outside of AEW from all the best talents in All Elite Wrestling. This is one of the more cohesive wrestling companies in the entire world, and we discuss every intricacy about it, including the unique booking of Tony Khan that is both a huge positive and a major detriment. Check us out every single Thursday here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hey, are you working hard or hardly working? It's that time of year again. It's time for the Super DadCast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Super DadCast. As always, it is your favorite Uncle Damon's dad, John Enright, a.k.a. Jay Reezyman on the internet, along with his tag team partner, Mr. Elliot Imes. How are you, Elliot?
I'm doing great, John. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to have been asked to be back on this esteemed podcast that is, really the center of the New Japan pro wrestling world. And we're here to guide people through everyone's favorite time of the year, literally everyone's favorite time of the year, the World Tag League.
Exactly. It's where else can you go and just watch tag match after tag match after multi-man tag match after tag match? I mean,
the answer is nowhere.
Nowhere. And I mean, you think about it. I mean, it's that annual time of year where we do that, and it's our annual catch up with each other to see how we've been doing. And it's amazing. It feels like we just did this because time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is technically your second dad joke of the podcast. Because I think working hard or hardly working it qualifies as a joke. It's sort of just a nice little kind of stand-in for like a hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
But yeah, great second dad joke. John's gonna have a lot of those tonight. I hope you all enjoy them very much.
Yes, the amuse-bouche was the beginning with the working hard. There we go. So, I mean, Elliot, it's a little bit. I hope you've been well. We're a year older. Literally me, because Wednesday, look, New Japan said, hey, look, we're going to take a day off because it's John's birthday. He's turning 45 on the 22nd. So the last time you heard a podcast from our friends on the Nightcap, who did the show before us, go check out their podcast, the great Super Canadian cast that filled in. They ended on the 21st. New Japan said, nah, it's the 22nd. It's John's 45th birthday. Let's take that day off. And so we're taking the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of November for World Tag League. But, we're literally a year older. How has anything really changed a lot since we talked last, Elliot?
Well, I turned 40 back in August, so I'm now a 40-year-old dad, which feels, significant.
Right.
But yeah, the kids are, they're 7 and 5. They go to a Montessori school that is literally across the field from our house. So it's just like a super convenient setup for me and the wife. And I teach at a high school now, which is much better than teaching at middle school. I can't remember what age group Joel is teaching now over in England. I think it's like a little bit younger, maybe elementary from what I remember. But high schoolers are just a little more chill. I have had a couple accidental drug busts where I walk into the bathroom and a kid is just smoking a vape pen. One of the times the kid, he was very nice about it and just followed me out and then went with a campus monitor and they took him. The second time it happened, it was a different kid. And he, even though I saw him do it, He then tried to walk past me and throw the vape pen in the garbage can, and then claimed that he didn't have it when the campus monitor called him on it. And then the campus monitor, I was like, I don't, because I don't want to bust kids. Like, it's whatever,
Right.
it's not a huge deal. But like, if I see that, I can't just like let it go, because like I'm not gonna sacrifice my job for a kid getting like a 3-day suspension. But yeah, to the campus monitor, I was like, he threw it in the garbage can. The guy just reached in and was like, okay, like let's go. And he's like, what? I didn't have it. It's like, okay. So anyways, that's what my day is like, but it's a much better job, and life is good. So how about you, John? How are things over there down in Texas?
They're great. My son is 17. He's driving now. He has his own car, which makes the world so much more wonderful.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, I'm still working as a youth advocate and running our social media for the agency I work for. So that's been good, and just been staying busy with that, helping teens in Parker County and raising awareness on just the various types of abuse that can happen. So, he did. So it was very funny. My son got his license in August. A week after getting his license, he got into his first wreck.
Oh, God.
So I had gotten a Hyundai Santa Cruz. I gave that to him to drive because, it was a newer car. I was like, I'll just get a used car, and work with that. So he's getting a safe car, all that kind of stuff. So I found for a really good deal a Lincoln Nautilus. Cool. He's driving my Santa Cruz, taking a left into the school. The main road to get into the school, there's 2 lanes. Like, it's a straight lane and then a turn lane to get to the interstate. But the turn lane goes all the way from the beginning of the school parking lot all the way down to the interstate.
That's a very long left turn.
It's a very long one, right?
Yeah.
So, because you could turn in here, you could turn in here, and then you could turn into the interstate. So he's going to turn left. Well, somebody gives him in the straight lane space to go and waves him to go. So he checks twice, as he should, to make the left-hand turn. Well, someone decides they want to hop the line to get to the interstate, and they come barreling down the turn lane at 40 and admitted it and T-boned him. So that car was totaled, and we had enough set aside money where we got him a second car, and we were able to get everything taken care of. But it was a mess dealing with all that.
That's scary. And was he okay? All healthy and everything?
Everything was good. Car did its job. Airbags deployed completely on the passenger side, but he was in the driver's side, obviously.
Okay,
so
great.
He was totally fine. He just, was more shook up and upset and everything.
Yeah.
But I will say this: having ridden with him this past week to my parents' house and back for Thanksgiving and my birthday, it did not affect him because he does not understand how to slow up and not. Drive close to people or whatever. And I was like, okay, I got to put my head down. I got to put my earphones in. And I can't like pay attention.
Dude, that's a reality that I'm obviously quite a few years away from. And I think I would be the exact same as you. I don't think I'm going to be even then ready for my kids to be driving me around. That will just feel surreal.
Yeah, well, here's the funny part, right? So I ride with me. He was whatever. So we're coming back from my parents on Friday, and my dad, we had to drop him off at a car dealership because he got a new car, and we brought his other car so he could get a ride home because he had to trade in the car, and the car that he bought was going to get a ceramic coat and protective cover and all that, whatever he does with my dad's cars. So he still needed to ride home, so we drove his other car over there so he can take that. So I'm riding with my son back, and his girlfriend wants to come. He was supposed to do something with his girlfriend. I said, well, she was in a town kind of near on our way there. So I said, like, we can just go pick her up. That's fine. So we get there. She gets in the car, and all of a sudden, he's the perfect driver. Like, perfect space, not speeding too much, not being aggressive. I'm like going, so it's me. It's me. I'm the problem.
It might be. Yeah.
It's me, apparently. I don't know. So... but it's never a problem when we get to watch World Tag League because look, I don't care what you say. A lot of times with these, you get unique matchups. This year, we've had a lot of new faces show up for World Tag League, and I think it's really made for an interesting World Tag League because of a lot of the new faces that we've seen so far in this tournament. And again, the Nightcap folks did a great job last week of going over the backgrounds of a lot of these people, so I don't feel like we need to go into depth with them. But we may throw our customary dad rankings for some of the new guys that we have coming into this. And I did want to talk a little bit before we get started, because we're going to really not talk a lot about the multi-man tag matches. They're not really necessary. We're here for the meat and potatoes, which is the block matches. But I did want to talk about the Young Lions, Bolton Oleg and Oscar Lube. I don't know if you've seen anything with them yet or not, Elliot. But
I still have not seen. I don't think I've really seen Bolton Oleg. Oh, okay, by the way, I know they say Bolton Oleg sometimes, but then I heard his name first as Oleg Bolton. Like, is it like, I don't understand what's happening there. But anyways, I haven't really seen him. The only undercard match I watched for any of these three shows was on the second night, the 24th, the opener there with Oscar Lobe against Katsuya Murashima. And because like we are dads, we have a limited amount of time, and the undercards of a World Tag League show, I'm sorry, it does not qualify. It doesn't crack my schedule. I'm not making time for that. So if you're out there and you are watching the undercards, more power to you. It's great. I'm happy for you. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's good that you have the time to do that. But the match with Oscar Lobe and Katsuya Murashima, it was about 6 minutes. It was pretty much Oscar Lobe beating the crap out of Murashima for the entire time. I think Murashima got just a little bit of a hope spot, and then Lobe booted him in the face, and that was the pin. Murashima seems good. He, like they mentioned on the Nightcap guest appearance, he I'm not sure if he has a skin condition or if he was like all bruised up, but like once a whole arm and like once like, I don't know. You'd have to see it. And if he's got a skin condition, please, everybody, I'm not trying to mock him for that. But he seems good. He's got some fire that Murashima, just shaved head, black trunks, the typical look that they all start off with. But Oscar, Oscar's got I think he's got some upside. If he can get maybe a little less, but maybe the paleness works, because he is incredibly pale. But but his body's getting there, and if he can, put it together, I think that's a good big guy. That like what they said on the last episode, New Japan does need a big bruiser, scary guy like that.
Right, and I think that's what you get out of both of these guys. Not only, and I don't remember which one of them, but one of them comes from a background. I don't remember if it was Bolton Oleg or if it was Oscar Lube, but one of them comes from like a legit amateur wrestling background. I can't remember which one. But they have that very serious, big time look to them that I feel like is going to be a big thing that is going to come out down the road that we're going to like, oh yeah, this is what we needed in the long run for New Japan. So, I think those to me, those two guys really stood out. I did not see the match with Murashima because, again, like you said, we're dads. We have pretty busy schedules. The only time I stop down for multi-man matches is if my boys Alex Zayne and Lance Archer were in. I'm going in. I'm going to tell you all this now. We are a Monster Sauce house in this family, in the Enright family. Me and my son, Lance Archer, in case everybody knows and doesn't know, or I've said it and they don't remember from last year. He's a friend of ours. He lives in the area, and he's been super kind to us. And then we've also met Alex Zayne, and he was a super great dude as well. So my son has pictures with both of them. So we are a Monster Sauce house. So those were really the only matches that I saw. And the only reason why I brought those names up because on night one, on the 23rd, that match had featured Oleg, Yoshihashi, and Goto versus Luube, I believe is how it's saying, Zayne and Archer.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and so, of course, it was kind of WWE booking that night where we saw Bishamon and Oleg go over on the win. And then, of course, what we see on the 24th, maybe something different happens. But they were, for young Lions in that match, I really felt like they were able to keep up, for lack of a better phrase. And of course, I love Lance, and I love his interest, and I love the fact that he beats up people on the side of the rings and trying to find young Lions to beat up or whatever. Like they said on the nightcap, where he went and found somebody and then bragged to me, was like, "No, I've got to beat somebody up. Come on!" So and so those are the matches. And then again, like on the 25th, the only match I really looked at was we saw Monster Sauce and Lube versus Bolteg, and then Atlantis Jr. and I think I said this wrong earlier. Sobanero Jr.
Soberano.
Yeah. Sober, like I said, sober as in I don't drink. Soberano. Okay, I got it now. Soberano Jr. So again, that is the 6-man match I watched again. Really kind of paid attention to, and again, I know that they're putting those two guys up against each other a lot, and Monster Sauce is losing in these matches, which is I'm okay because they don't mean anything, especially if they continue to have winning ways in block matches for that aspect. So again, they seem to work well with, definitely Lube, Zayne, and Archer seem to be working all well together in that match. And then the chemistry between Bolton and Lube seems to be really, really good as well, because I have yet to watch them and go, but that's just me. Like I'm looking at it, mostly looking at Zayne and Archer going, "Hey, let's go," kind of thing,
Yep.
So
your boys, yep.
There was nothing in the matches that made me go, "Ooh, these guys stick out real bad."
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they run a tight ship over there at the dojo. Sometimes too tight, but but it makes it so that when they're in a spot like that, they typically things don't fall apart because there's young Lions in there. So.
Right. And I mean, and again, it goes to show that this is the type of thing. Like when you're a young Lion in New Japan, at some point you're going to be called to be stepping into the ring, and boy, these guys, this class especially, seems to be very good. Like I have yet to see, some of these guys who I've been like, I don't know if he's going to be here for a while. Like, in the sense of like he might not make it to the roster, there's
nobody like that. Yeah, no, everybody's good, everybody's solid, and will only get better.
Yeah, exactly. So how about we go into the 23rd, and let's talk about since we kind of got our previews done. Unless there was something else you wanted to kind of discuss before we got into the block matches.
No, I got nothing. Let's get into the mix.
Okay, so let's start with the 23rd of November. We had, which is Thanksgiving Day for those of you who weren't paying attention to that or don't live in the United States. So I'm going to be honest, I had to catch this on a replay because I was overly stuffed with turkey and dressing and all the kinds of fun stuff like that. Shout out to Scampy in the background there.
I can get this cat out of here if it's
it's good.
Yeah. We talked before the recording. Like I'm bringing back the vibes when Scampy would, interrupt the recordings. This cat that I have down here is named Muffin. She is totally deaf and I think pretty blind at this point. 18 years old. Yeah. But how about you start setting this match up? I'm going to get this cat out of here.
Okay. All right. So we have the World Tag Team. This is the A Block. This is the second night, I believe, for A Block. And we have Chaos, the Chaos team of Tomohiro Ishii, Hall of Famer Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano versus the Gates of Agony, which is Bishop Khan and Toa Leona. They are the Ring of Honor representative here and also AEW / Ring of Honor representative. Bishop Khan, I have seen a lot. He wrestles a good bit here in Texas.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen him at quite a few shows. Dude is jacked, solid worker, fits really, really well with that New Japan style, hard hitter, like makes it look believable and just, really tight in everything he does. So, this first match, you have classic Yano and Ishii. Again, this is an interesting like tag team because like when I don't necessarily think Chaos when I think of these two. I don't think of these two coming together, because they're so opposite. They are so opposite. Like now Yano's got this energy drink that he wants to like pitch to everybody or whatever that drink is.
Okay, yeah, that's what he's coming into the ring with now. Is that like his thing?
Yeah, that's his thing now. Yeah,
Great.
whatever the DVD is gone, he's doing a drink or whatever. And you got Ishii who just walks in, just stone faced in. Let's go to work. And it was real interesting to say the least. And I think if I remember correctly, this was started with Chaos jumping the Gates of Agony beforehand.
I think, yeah, maybe like in the ring, kind of jumping. Oh, you might be thinking of. Was it on the third show we watched? Ishii and Yano jumped the War Dogs.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, sorry. Look, yeah. Look, sometimes when you've watched all these things in a row, you get a little.
There's a tendency for it to bleed together.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I think this one was fairly good. I think Gates of Agony, like they come to the ring. If you haven't seen these yet, they look awesome. It's some kind of I don't know, Polynesian or whatever kind of war outfits, like masks and they look great. With them introducing themselves to that Japanese crowd, they couldn't have picked a better look to kind of come to the ring and look, fearsome. I did try to look up information to find out if either of those guys is a dad. I could not get any conclusive answer on that. If anybody remembers last year, I mentioned that I started to tweet at every wrestler in the tournament asking them if they are a dad, and it just felt invasive, so I didn't do that this year. But as far as I don't know if Tomohiro Ishii is a dad, but he's a guy who I've always viewed as my dad. Basically, it's the dad that I didn't have. Tomohiro Ishii just has that energy of, again, just a no nonsense, just like it doesn't take shit, but will support you through everything. That's Tomohiro Ishii. He's always been my favorite, like pretty much from the time I started watching New Japan in 2015. He's always stood out, and I was really, encouraged as I became a deeper fan and finding out that like he's a lot of, at least Americans, he's a lot of people's favorite wrestler from New Japan here. And I think it's just, he's always stood out. Like you said, he comes to the ring. He's one of the only New Japan wrestlers who, when they, announce their name, he doesn't do a pose. He doesn't get on the ropes. He doesn't like even go, he just sits there. He just like stares straight ahead. He's the coolest. He's just always been the best. And him being in a World Tag League, even if he's kind of in a team with Yano where they're kind of slumming it and they're not going to win very much. Right. Just having Ishii there as a presence to keep these matches exciting is really valuable.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I think Ishii is one of those guys that, it's just incredibly dependable. He'll be in the ring no matter what. He'll put in the best. And I think that's where, this was a good, like, second match for the Gates of Agony, because let's be honest, they're Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is less than, but they're not here to they're not going to win the A block, but they're putting on a really good showing in that, in this tournament so far, and making that like, okay, we want to see more of these guys. And we want to see what they have to offer. And I feel like that there can, and of course, night one, you come in, you're in a block tournament to start the match. Whereas some of the guys who are in B block get that little buffer of, hey, we're in 6 mans or whatever to kind of get the rust off. These guys, it's like, okay, we've been in Japan for like 3 days and our first match is a block match. So I feel like they're really starting to get their stride and understand what it is to be in a New Japan ring, which is not the same as a Ring of Honor or AEW ring at all. And so I felt like this is a really fun match because you have 3 guys who just like to hit real hard, and then you got Yano, right? I mean, Yano brings just enough to make it, not all the same thing. It brings a little bit of difference to that match, and I enjoyed this one a lot. If I were gonna grade this one, I'd say this was a solid B match. I'd give it a grade of a B. Real solid, nothing too crazy or out of the. I mean, Yano is going to do what Yano does, so there was nothing super crazy or out of the box for me. I felt like this was just a good start to the night. Again, the one thing I really like about it seems like too, the placement of matches. New Japan always seems to do well with these G1s and World Tag Leagues and stuff like that. Where they place them on the card always seems to go real well and makes it flow really, really good for these matches. So that was the first tag night. That was the first match for the night. The second match for the night, and for Block A, we had the United Empire of Great-O-Khan and Hinare with his new face tattoo, defeating the Noah team of Kaito Kiriyama and say the next one for me there, Elliot.
Well, it's Kaito Kiyomiya. And then Ryohei Oiwa.
Ryohei Oiwa. Obviously, I don't know Noah as much as I should, and I know you had mentioned Oiwa is on loan. Essentially, he's on his excursion at Noah. But yeah, Great-O-Khan now looking with that weird fro ponytail mullet.
Oh, I'm into it. He looks. I mean, he looked insane before, but he looks legitimately, unhinged now. So yeah, they need to keep that look. I think kind of forever, that should, or whatever, for the time being, that should be the kind of new iteration. And he's not wearing. I know he's kind of been off and on wearing the not baggy pants, but I think he had just he might have had long trunks here. I can't remember, but he's switching it up a little bit, and I think that looks nice.
Yeah, he'll do the long trunks on you, and then he'll wear the short trunks.
Yep. So I've always been partial to him. I think he's great. Hinare, if we're talking data energy, I think we must have discussed him, or was he in the tournament? He was not in the tournament last year. I don't think.
But he was I think he was in pre-match, because we did mention a little bit how we talked, because we did talk about, because we found out he wasn't a dad.
Okay.
Both of these guys are not dads.
And I can't remember if this has been since last year's World Tag League, but he, I think he's been sort of public about how he saves his seed, if you will. And so that means, if he's ever going to be a dad, I can only assume saving the seed like that makes it so that once you do procreate, it's just, it's like a super good sperm that's just creating a superhuman athlete of a child. So I think he's going to have a great kid, and he's going to be a great dad whenever he does choose to release his seed.
Yeah, which I think that was a Super J-Cast exclusive that we found that out.
Like I said, they're breaking all the important news in New Japan.
This is why we come to the Super J-Cast for that. I think of course, we all know that most he's Samoan and
what is his
or no, maybe he's Tongan or
it's or Maori or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a
Pacific Islander
in New Zealand. Yeah.
Pacific Islander. Let's go with that. Yeah, it could be Maori from New Zealand because I know he's from there. But we do know that is a very family intensive culture. So he definitely is going to be a good dad. Great-O-Khan, we do know, as we talked about last year, he did save that child from the incident, and so that instinct already right there is going to make him a good dad when it comes to it as well. And then for these two guys, I don't know if they're dads or not either. Well, I don't think Iowa.
No, I live in Iowa. That's Oiwa.
Yeah, Oiwa. I think he's too young to be a dad because you said he's on excursion.
I think he's 22, and then Kiyomiya is 26. And I did try to look up Wikipedia. I feel like they don't release maybe a lot of personal information. Some of these wrestlers, both Japanese and the luchadors, which we'll find out later. Like apparently they try to keep that stuff like under wraps. But no, I would think. Yeah, I would think both Kiyomiya and Oiwa, they're both babies, especially compared to old dads like you and me.
Yeah, the young guys.
They're young guys. They're having exactly. So we'll give them time. They're going to be great whenever they get there.
Sure. They're flashy dads for sure if they're going to be. Because man, some of those pants or whatever.
I mean, I wish I could rock stuff like that, but I would. I couldn't pull it off.
Yeah. Now this match, I was interested in it for one because Hinare is sporting a bald head and a face tattoo now, which is interesting to see because I hadn't seen Hinare in a while, and especially comparative when you before with Toa Leona. And before with him and Khan, he has all that facial tattoo and the tattoo stuff on him, and then you see this with Hinare, who didn't have anything like that, and now he's kind of embraced it with the face tattoo. It made for a stark different. It took me a double take when I first watched this match, going, "Wait, that's Hinare?" Like, whoa! Like Okan, the hair was whatever, but I could pick up on that. But this was such a stark look difference. It felt like. Boy, it made this team look very dangerous. If you're going by looks alone, like this looks like a very dangerous team just by looks. And where I struggled with this was the match. In the match itself, like I felt like Team Noah they were able to go toe to toe with these guys when I felt like it shouldn't have been the case.
Well, I mean, you can look at it that way. I mean, Kiyomiya is a former GHC heavyweight champion, so but we know how he was booked in the G1. Not very strong. For all the flack that we throw at AEW for booking New Japan wrestlers kind of weak, or for making AEW wrestlers go over all the time.
Mm-hmm.
New Japan kind of does treat Noah in a similar way, but. No, I don't know. I think Kiyomiya is very good, and Oiwa is tremendous. For how young he is, like he is coming along. I know it's been mentioned on the show, but if you haven't watched from a month or two ago, him challenging Zach for the NJPW World TV title, it was great. Yeah, I mean, I think they're solid, and Okan and Hinare, they're not necessarily like. The highest slotted tag team in the world, so I think it was okay that they kind of went, toe to toe like that. I don't remember who won this. I didn't write that down. Did you?
Let me see. Yeah, let's see. Where did I put it?
I know, listeners. I know you're just waiting with like huge antiception to find out who wins this.
United Empire won this one.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
Chaos beat Gates of Agony. I don't know if we said that.
That's right. I think we forgot to mention that too. Yeah. But this one
it's been a year, people. Okay, give us a little bit of a break. We're gonna get our stride here in a second.
We're going through stuff, but this one here with Kiyomiya and Oiwa against Okan and Hinare was decent. There was a nice little stretch there where Okan and Oiwa were doing some like shoot style kind of grappling, which was nice. But yeah, decent match. You don't have to watch it, but live your life.
Yeah, I mean, it was there. It moved the story forward for these two because you've got to move them out of block, eventually. But I think really in the long run, this was just a match. It was you had a more solid match to open with Chaos and Gates of Agony. This one was. I don't want to say this was your. Okay, I'm going to say this was your pre-break match, right? This was the one where you're like, I can go to the bathroom on this one because the next two were a lot better.
Yeah, I'd say out of the 4 tag league matches of this night, yeah, definitely the one that's probably the most skippable.
Yeah, I agree. So then the next Next match we have, the fourth match of the night, is Bullet Club War Dogs, which is Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidd, and they defeated Shota Umino and Rin Narita. So I'm just going to make sure, because I have it in my notes now, so I'm just going to make sure I say it at the beginning, who did what. So we don't forget.
Yes, anymore. Thank you.
Yeah. But again, Alex Coughlin, Gabe Kidd, new to the scene for World Tag League as well. So is Shota Umino and Ren Narita. Again, all young guys. I feel like though all of them will be really good dads. Especially Gabe Kidd. Everybody has a heart for him because of his struggles that he had with his mental illness and his openness about that and the work he's done to overcome that. That to me just shows the resiliency that you need as a dad. And so I have hats off to him, and I think he's going to be really, really good as well for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's an impressive person. Yeah, I did look this up to make sure everybody in this match is under 30.
Yeah,
which was insane.
Yeah. But like at the same time too, this shows, hey, we have a really good future with New Japan with our young guys, right? I mean, Coughlin, Gabe, Shota, and Rin. Look, I know that the Nightcap folks said that Rin is boring. I get that because he's doing the whole Shibata rip off, and Shota's kind of a mixture of Tanahashi and John Moxley. But I think we have to give this time. They're just not even a year out of their excursion. They're still trying to find their place. Yeah. But I think they'll figure it out. And this was the direction New Japan wanted them to go when they came back from their excursion, right? It was kind of the whole thing. Rin Narita had no choice. They were like, oh, man. And before we even went on excursion, they were talking about how much he looked like Shibata and, and his look and how he carried things. And, I think and feel like, he'll get there and he'll find his way, But this match was, I feel like, and I may be wrong, but I felt like this was the match of the night.
I wrote that in my notes as well. This is definitely, if you're going to watch anything from the 11/23 show, it would be Shota and Ren versus the War Dogs. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of impressive stuff in this. I am always impressed by Alex Coughlin. He is the strongest. It's insane. He did that suplex, which Scott Hall would do, where you're holding the guy and then you throw him kind of backwards and you fall. Scott Hall called that the sack of shit suplex. So rips to him on that. But so Coughlin did that to Ren, but it was like as he was doing it, like Ren didn't just go like sideways and down. He was able to like toss him like up in the air, and then Ren flew. It was just like. He just can do things that basically nobody else on that roster can do strength-wise. Like he's up there with, Jeff Cobb and other people like that. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, and these are two really strong boys, especially Coughlin. He's really good. I like the fact, like I enjoyed, like, you had Ren make his open, then Shota makes his open, and then the War Dogs jump him. And, they take his jacket and everything like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And the other thing I appreciated about this match, Lance Archer was out on commentary. So there you go. If you wanted to listen to that and listen to the English commentary, you could hear Lance Archer talking about that. For our Nightcap friends, Lance, yes, on his back, the angel wings is a new tattoo. Lance, for those who may or may not know, he is a Christian, and so he's using some of his tattoos. He's now changing and covering up some of his older tattoos that he had that he's not as fond of from his old lifestyle to represent more of his faith now. Like that's why he has the angel wings. That's why he has the hill with the 3 crosses. So Golgotha on the back, on his lower back, because it covers, if you look in some of his older pictures at Impact Wrestling and earlier times, it's more of a tramp stamp, for lack of a better phrase. And so he covers that up with the hill of Golgotha and everything along those lines. So that's kind of his purpose in that.
He's in a transitional period with his tattoos. That's okay. We all go through metamorphoses in life,
Yeah.
and that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and so that's why he has that look and everything along those lines. But at the end of the day, you know, I had to say that because Lance is my friend.
Hey,
but
we gotta set the record straight here on the Super DadCast. So.
I came from the beginning saying we're a monster sauce house. So,
right.
And if if y'all have questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter at JReezyMen right here. Well, you can't see it because we're recording. We can see each other, and they can't see it. But you can at JReezyMen and say, "Oh yeah," and I'll show you the pictures of my son with Alex Zayne and Lance Archer, and the multiple pictures we have with Lance Archer that we have with him. And right here, see right there, Elliot?
Yes.
That is Lance Archer's custom-made wrestling belt, championship belt that he had made. That's 1 of 10, and I got number 2 because he has number 1.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can see it from here. Looks nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a 5-plate, it's a nice belt. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, but good match. I really enjoyed this. I really feel like this is a great match to showcase the future of New Japan with these young guys, and they are going to do a lot for them. I really like the War Dogs, and I feel like this was a good win for them coming out of this block. And then our main event of the night, which is TMDK, Shane Hayes and Mikey Nichols, and they defeat the House of Torture. Thank God of Evil and Yujiro Takahashi. Evil and the Tokyo Pimp. Of course, it's House of Torture. So we get all kinds of fun of House of Torture bullshit. But
it didn't, to their credit here for this, it didn't last a super long time. It wasn't as much BS as their match on the 25th. It kind of was limited to just about the end of the match, which is just fine. But
you had that like that moment where Dick to Go pops in there, and they all three do the whole thing, and he gets up on the top rope, does the smoking thing, and hits Mikey. Yeah. I think it was Mikey in the nuts, and then they're trying to get him to count 1, 2, 3, and they don't get it. So like there was some shenanigans like that, but it could have been worse. I don't agree with you, but let's be honest. Like at what point is House of Torture just going to go away? Like or just stop. They're not Bullet Club. Stop with this Bullet Club bullshit.
They're not really Bullet Club. Their matches never really hit. The only real reason that I think they're around is for Chris Charlton to come up with different dick puns to use throughout the match, which he's very good at that. He's hitting Dick. He's trying to find Dick. Just whatever, many dick puns, and it's great. But it's the same as ever. Yujiro moves as slow as molasses. Evil is underperforming to his potential, and Dick Togo ruins the match, and they pull the ref out. And if anything, though, they at least Evil doesn't as much do the spot where he knocks somebody into the announcer and that guy's table falls over. That didn't happen in either of the matches we watched, so I consider that to be a blessing. Yeah,
we did get a low blow and then a push to knock the ref out, red shoes out again, and that did happen. But it's par for the course for House of Torture stuff. I understand that this is what they do, but at some point, can we not have the entirety of House of Torture out, and can we not have the shenanigans and bullshit? Like, I know Joel loves them, right? And is like, hey, House of Torture, And I don't know if he really does love them, if he's just really good at being sarcastic, and I'm not picking up on it. But this needs to go. We need to do something.
I have to think we've got maybe a year left. And then maybe I know, and that's going to be a long time, but maybe it'll. It feels like it's been forever, and it's there's some matches. I thought that one in the G1 with Evil and Shingo, where it was just like a mountain of interference, but I think that one I actually thought worked, but it's just so few and far between when House of Torture stuff really hits.
Mhm.
It's mostly just like you're like, okay, I've seen this. Oh,
Yeah.
they pulled the ref out. Oh, weird. Okay. Oh, they're hitting
Oh
something in the boat.
no!
Oh,
no!
Yujiro has a staff or walking whatever the cane.
Yes.
It's just there's just not much happening.
Yeah.
But this is as dads, we know that there's certain things we just can't change, and we
Right.
have to accept. What's the phrase? Accept the things I can change or
Except
can't
the things I
change,
cannot change.
and
Wait.
have the grace to it.
The wisdom.
Okay, look, this is
Another-
also a dad thing where we're trying to give wisdom and then we forgot the wisdom.
Yeah. No, because I remember this in Catholic school when I was there. Because I'm not Catholic, but Lord, give me
The strength.
strength to accept the things I cannot change. To
Try to change the things I can't. It's
and the wisdom to know the difference.
wisdom to know the difference. Yes, right.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
nailed it. We got it.
Look, we got it. And just like this match, what did one toilet say to another? You look flushed.
Well, and that's what we all wish we could do to House of Torture. Get them
Yes,
flushed
yes.
right
Yes.
down the drain. But
And that ends night one, or night. No, this is night 3, but our night 1 on the 23rd, and brings us into night 2 for us, which is the 24th, which is night 4. And we're going to get to see some B block results. Again, you said the only match you watched was the opening match for this one, correct?
correct, yeah. This was a tough crowd. This was in Kofu. Just a very sleepy crowd. They did not. It felt like a clap crowd again. But I looked this up. I looked up Kofu because shout out my old co-teacher Steph Fowler. It took a student, a bunch of middle school students to Kofu a couple years ago. And I did find out that they have a lot of wineries there. So I was thinking maybe just everyone was just kind of wine drunk and sleepy. Us dads definitely know about that. Just getting kind of a little, So, because no other explanation. Like, it was a bummer. It was like that crowd was not giving anybody much of anything. And that can, on night 4 of the World Tag League, it can be a rough watch if that's the deal.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also one of those things where, but I mean, you're going to a new town, right? It's not like you were in the same town last night, and then 2, you're getting a different block. So I don't know, like But I get at the same time too that you go to some of these places and they're just like, okay, well, I'm here, something to do. All right.
Yeah.
Like this feels like, no offense, going to Iowa and like watching wrestling and going, all right.
Look, I as a native Iowan, I'm not going to argue with that. You are exactly right. It's anytime I've been to like a WWE show here, the crowd is just not all that good. So I have had some good crowds at the Pro Wrestling Revolver shows, the ones that Sammy Callahan runs here. So I've seen John Moxley and Swerve and a bunch of other people, and those are good.
Which he runs down here too. So you've seen Matthew Palmer.
I have seen Matthew Palmer. Yep.
Yeah. The Monster Hunter Matthew Palmer, who is the husband of Athena.
That's correct.
Yeah. So Matthew Palmer, they have him and his wife own a promotion down here called MPX, and it runs weekly on every Saturday night in Bedford. You can go to their their venue is literally in a shopping center. Right, it was in Botchamania a few years back. Do you remember when the guy hits the roof and the ceiling falls apart and falls in? That was there at MPX. So it's great. And they've done some stuff here. I think they did something around Halloween down here in Grand Prairie where they ran with MPX and Pro Wrestling Revolver because Lance was on that show. With some guys from Impact as well. So
Lance was on a Revolver show, I think, a few months before COVID, and so I got to see him at that, and I was extremely excited. It was one of the few people who was really going nuts for him. So
like that's great because he deserves it. But anyway, the only match I really saw was nothing on this one because my attention was the block matches because later on. So let's start with the World Tag League, the first block match of the night. We have Atlantis Jr. and Sobernero Jr.
Almost Soberano.
Soberano. Son of a bitch. I'm going to get it for you. And they defeated the Bullet Club Rogue Army of Bad Luck Fale and Jack Bonza. Oh, what can we say about this match?
Not very much, I'd say.
Yeah, like, look, if you like Lucha Libre, these guys are good. You're not going to watch for this match, though, because it's Bad Luck Fale. Look, this Jack Bonza guy, he seems like a real solid hand, but, man, he's got bad luck of the draw getting Bad Luck Fale to partner with in this. Like, Fale, I'm sorry. Look, first of all, you have everything coming out about his school down there in New Zealand, which is not good. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
Oh,
Elliot.
Yeah, for sure. It's not and it's it's disappointing because again, like they talked about on the show, like New Japan is somewhat affiliated with us and is clearly not overseeing it very well. And again, allegedly, we should disclaimer all that, whatever. I don't want Fale to come to my house in Iowa and beat me up. But yeah, I mean, clearly there's some not great stuff going on down there. And so Bonza, it seems like he is not one of those dojo guys there down in New Zealand. I think he is just more of like an active wrestler who wrestled. Like he wrestled. I saw he wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. a few weeks ago down in New Zealand. So he's like a fairly big name there in New Zealand wrestling. I kind of thought he looks like if Eric Rowan got smushed down about 6 inches. Basically his look. He got like a little more muscular and shorter. That's basically what Jack Bonza looks like. If you haven't seen him yet, just picture that.
Okay.
Picture Redbeard, Eric Redbeard.
You know who he reminded me of? I don't know if you see this guy or not, but he's it's like that Ginger Billy, the redneck hillbilly guy. That's a comedian that always runs around with that shirt and got a red beard like that. He looks very much like that. So like I saw that at first, and that's what I thought of. Let me see if I can find a. Okay. I'm gonna find an image for you. I'm gonna show it to you. And that's what I love about StreamYard is I can show you things on StreamYard and go.
That is cool.
All right, so here we go. So this is Ginger Billy. This is what when I saw.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Everybody, if you look up Ginger Billy, that's Jack Bonza as well. Except he's not missing the teeth that this guy's missing in a couple of pictures.
Yeah. Well, that one I think he's got a cap on or something. But if you go look it up, it's great. Go check it out.
All right.
Yeah, but like, oh man, like, and I feel bad for our CMLL guys or our Lucha guys because like, man, I know that they put on some earlier stuff that was pretty good, but I feel bad. This is just not a good setup for these two, and like for anybody who has to face this Rogue Army, No,
it's like the Rich and Joe from the Voices of Wrestling podcast they had some New Japan wrestler once said about Yujiro Takahashi, there's only so much you can do with a Yujiro, and I think we can definitely now apply that phrase where there's only so much you can do with a Bad Luck Fale. He's just he's there, he's moving even slower than Yujiro, and just but again, New Japan is loyal to certain guys and brings them in whenever they have a chance to, and he is still on their list of people to call for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess there's that sense of loyalty, but man, at this point, like, don't you have to just say, look, with everything going on, we appreciate you and everything you've done, but nah, but maybe
not.
Yeah, but maybe this is like they're like, okay, this is your last run, this is it,
right? Maybe. Yeah, because he hasn't been around for much beyond this in 2023, has he?
Not that I know of. I'm surprised he did this because it seemed like he came out of nowhere.
Yep. I guess they just needed people for World Tag League, so here we are.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of armies, where does the general put his armies? In his sleeveys.
In his sleeveys. There we go. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one you should hear, during trick or treating. And I would give a kid a good chuckle if I heard that.
There you go. So our next match of the night is for the B block is Zandokan Jr. and Yoda Tsuchi, who has the worst name ever given in Gene Blaster.
Well, see, I think Gene Blast is the best name that any New Japan wrestler has been given. So we definitely disagree on that.
Okay, well, I don't know. I guess being single, you hear things, and hearing that makes me think of something probably completely different than most people.
I don't know where your mind's going on that. To me, it's just merely talking about the genetic code of this man, and he is spreading. No, actually, yeah, you can't parse it any other way. It's just
he's the opposite of Hanare. He's the opposite of Hanare.
Yeah, right.
And so they defeat Minoru Suzuki and Yuji Nagata. Again, an interesting pairing here of these two guys who traditionally not liked each other, who are coming together for the World Tag League. And there's been moments where we see these two teammates facing off against each other. And if you don't know who Zandokan Jr. is, think One Piece in real life. Is he a luchador?
Yeah,
he is. Okay.
CNLL, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure because it seemed weird to have Suji, and I know Suji did work over at CMLL, but you don't normally see a CMLL New Japan guy working together at a tag team. So think like this guy's a mass luchador who looks like he's missing from One Piece. So so pirate as piratey can be with a mask that looks like he's wearing a eye patch, but he's not.
Yeah.
So and he's got pirate stuff on his stuff. So yeah, apparently he either likes pirates or he's into One Piece. And why are they called pirates? Why are pirates called pirates? They just are.
I've actually never heard that one. That's good. See, every listeners at home, you got to appreciate that John is coming out here with dad jokes that are at least fresh. Okay, you have to give him that. Okay, whether you're greeting these jokes with just a grimace and a frown, that's fine. But at least give him that he's trying. Okay,
I'm trying. I'm doing my best here. All right, I got to make World Tag League work in some way, shape, or form, and we're
indeed. Well, and so here's what I wanted to say about Nagata and Suzuki. Their tag team dynamic, it reminds me of like two dads who are trying. They're both like there's a sink. Like let's say that it's a family at Thanksgiving, and the sink is like jammed up and broken, and it's two dads who are both trying to fix the sink, and they're disagreeing over each other over like who knows best. And they're both trying to kind of elbow each other out of the way. Like, here, let me do this. No, like that. No, I got this.
Yes.
That is Suzuki and Nagata's dynamic in this World Tag League. And it's honestly like kind of great because, they kind of like one guy will tag one of them in and they didn't want to get tagged in, but they'll kind of, and they'll just walk out. But then they get it together and they're doing a good job by the end. Cause like Suzuki and Nagata, they both still, they're not as good as they were maybe even like 2 or 3 years ago, but they're still hanging in there with a team like Suji and Zandokan, who are both young guys who can fly around the ring if they want to. They didn't really have to adjust their speed that much in this match. Like it was a fairly good one. Yeah,
and look, I'm impressed with the pairing of Suji and Zandokan as well. This is a completely fresh new tag team that's come together for this, and I feel like it works. Right? I feel like this they're working well together for not having really seen them work together before. Like it's come out of nowhere. I really feel like this is a good team, and of course Suzuki and Nagata do their job again. They're not going to win this tournament either. They're there for name recognition, and they're there to eat pins. And so we know that they lost this one, and they're 0-2 at this point. But hey, that's okay. They're doing their job.
Yeah.
So so then the next one is which is my match of the night, which is Monster Sauce of Alex Zayne and Lance Archer versus Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi, who they beat Bishamon, which is interesting to say the least, because again, new tag team. There's a lot of, but honestly, Lance has always been big in Japan. Like, always has been a big thing in Japan. Alex Zayne has become big, so much so that Taco Bell has said, hey, we have your own Alex Zayne combo at Japanese Taco Bells.
It's so crazy. Yeah.
That's so dope, right? Like, I mean, like the dude loves Taco Bell and legit Taco Bell, like legit. Like when we were at one of the wrestling shows where we got the picture with him, like so many people brought him Taco Bell gift cards, and he was legitimately so happy about it. Like, I've never seen someone so happy about Taco Bell in my entire life. And it was, he legitimately loves it. And so, but like, I love the offense between these two. Like, you know, there are times where it's Lance just choke slamming Alex Zayne onto somebody because he can, you know. Yep. I think like it was either this night or the fifth night, I can't remember, where there's guys on the outside, and so Lance grabs Alex and chunks him to the outside onto other people. Right. So yep. I think that was night 5, maybe. It might have been the 5th night. But still, like, the fact that that's one of their moves is like choke slamming Alex Zayne on top of somebody else.
They just have a great dynamic. Like they have matching gear. Mm-hmm. They have theme music, which I could sing that for everybody if you'd like. If you haven't heard it yet, the music goes like this: Monster Sauce. Monster Sauce. It's just and it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. No. I don't know if you saw the video that they had, the video package done with it, you know, where it's the whole there's a monster loose in quote unquote Japan, and like old school Godzilla style Japan, where it's just cardboard boxes or whatever, and they're coming in and defeating the monster. It's great. You gotta love the team, and then they beat Bishamon, the reigning champs, and then Lance gets on the mic afterwards and said, hey, look, we've won. We're going to win the G1, and we're going to come take these titles from you at the Tokyo Dome. You know, look, I'm for it. You know, again, I'm biased. Yes. I'm biased. Hey, right, it's this hand right here. No, this hand right there. Is that like I'm biased a little bit, but like I feel like this would be a really fun tag team. And let's be honest, AEW isn't doing jack with Lance anyway. I know that they just put him with the Righteous. Which, okay, cool, whatever. Like, I don't see it as much with that. But look, I know most likely they're not going to win the whole thing. But I like this team. I feel like they've got a lot of momentum going with them, and I feel like this is a good like end of the night. Hey, we need a team who's gonna maybe. It looks like they're going to win, but they're not going to quite make it. And there'll be a spoiler for one team, but not for another. Kind of giving that challenge towards the end. And they're a fun team to watch. I mean, him and Alex have really great chemistry together, and I really feel like it. This was I think was a super good match. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest. I did not expect Monster Sauce to win. If I'm 100% honest, because I mean, hey, this is the tag champs, and they already had a loss earlier, and so you think, okay, well, they're going to come back and they're going to get their win and get on winning ways, and now they're 0-2 in the hole and then Lance and them are Lance and Zayne are up, with 2 wins now, and they're undefeated at this point, and so not the expectation I was going for, even though I'm happy for it. But the practical Braden is going, I don't think so.
No, they definitely pulled it off. And so Bishamon lost to, was it Hikuleo and ELP?
I think so.
Like 2, yeah. So I mean, that's 2. So I guess neither of those teams, Hikuleo and ELP or Monster Sauce, like have to win, but they could still, get a tag title shot down the line, maybe. Mm-hmm. But that's of course if Bishamon retains at Wrestle Kingdom. And I kind of feel like they won't, no matter really who it is that wins this thing. But I could be wrong. We'll see. They've definitely kept the tag belts on people for a very long time. And Bishamon, always good, always great, solid. Again, we know Goto, great dad, tremendous dad. You can tell from his Instagram, loves his kids. Again, Yoshihashi, we don't know. In researching Yoshihashi, trying to figure out if he has kids, I found that like it's one of those like websites where you can see a celebrity's net worth, and then it has like information about them. The thing I found said that Yoshihashi is worth $1 to $3 million, which, I mean, I guess that's maybe possible, but I kind of feel like he seems like the kind of guy who'd be so bad at investing his money, like he would just like drop it on the ground, or like, you know, a friend has a startup company, you know, and Yoshihashi invests a bunch in it and it never gets off the ground. Right. It just seems like something that would happen to Yoshihashi. So I'm not buying that he's worth $1 to $3 million.
Yeah, no, I don't either. And I would say he probably is a dad. He's just that haggard dad that's why he is what he is, because he's just so haggard, because maybe he's got like 6 kids at home, and he likes being on the road because he's like, I get a break for my kids, right? You know, like I feel like maybe that's the kind of dad he is in this aspect. But you know, again, very interesting how this has played out so far with this. And then but I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like El Phantasmo and Hikuleo could win this and it'd be legitimate, like or they make the finals, right, against whoever in the A block. I feel like if you're going to take 2 teams out of this one, I feel like Phantasmo and Hikuleo could be your top ones. Like a stretch could be Monster Sauce would be your next 2 out of that. Those would be, I'd say, your top 2 teams out of this. You know, just based the way they have been momentum wise, and I don't know that things change in this tournament, and they, you know, but really in Block A, I feel like it's TMDK's to lose. Like I feel like, and then the Bullet Club War Dogs are probably the second out of that one. If we're gonna kind of get an idea of where we're going with that, who would we say? I would say that would be your final 4. If you're gonna have a final 4 out of that. You know, that would be my thought anyway.
Yeah.
But that's pure speculation. We don't know what's going to happen, you know, till later. So our main event of the night is just 5 guys, which is Taichi and Yuya Uemura versus El Phantasmo and Hikuleo. Again, a real solid match. Taichi, good. Yuya, seen him live. They did an Impact taping here last year, and my son and I got to go for free thanks to one of the promoters at one of the local wrestling companies here in town, and so we got to go to Impact Wrestling for free, which was super cool. And watching him wrestle in Impact was really great because we saw him way back in the day in the G1 when he came here, and he was a young lion. And so seeing that, and then seeing him in Impact, and then seeing him now, wow, just the progression has been pretty impressive to see what he's been and where he's going. So, you know, again, a real good match. I think real solid. The only reason why this isn't my match of the night is because I'm biased. Yeah,
because this actually was my match of the night as well. So listeners, take your recommendations however you want. But I'd say both of those matches really worth watching. But this one, yeah, I mean, really solid. I think Uemura is like, he needs to be a big deal guy by the end of 2024.
Right.
He has the look. He's extremely handsome. He's jacked. He again, I don't know how they're going to do all this because they have so many people who are like the future, you know, like Shota has just as good of a case. Yoda has just as good of a case to be that, you know, one of those top guys. But but I think Uemura needs to be in there. I agree. He's great. Taichi is still here. And I was thinking, you know, we haven't seen Miho Abe in a while, right? I don't remember if she was with him in the G1 or not. And you know, it's not. I don't miss her just because she's, you know, a very lovely lady. Right. It's I always enjoyed imagining that they are an actual couple and that they have a bunch of beautiful children running around. Always warmed my heart to imagine that. So I'm just going to keep imagining that, even with Miho not being there. Right. She's still in all of our hearts.
That's right. I agree. And like again, interesting that that this team got the win over El Fantasma and Hikuleo. I think like this is that one hiccup, for El Fantasma and Hikuleo. Is Taichi and Yuya going to be there at the finals? I don't think so.
No, they'll be close. They definitely. Yeah, I'd like to see them do well, but Taichi is just slotted pretty firmly in the mid card at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just feel like bringing in a new guy like that and giving them a push like that when you have other contenders who are probably better off, especially like El Fantasma and Hikuleo. I feel like this was a match to kind of help get them over a little bit, but then really El Fantasma and Hikuleo are going to, I think, step on the gas. They're going to turn around in their next block match. So that's the end of our second night, which is the 25th, which is night 4. And so that brings us to night 5 on this one. And again, I said,
this was in Fujisawa, and the mayor of Fujisawa was seated front row at this show. They talked about this on commentary. Yeah. And I just love Japanese culture where, like, what other in America, you're never going to get like the mayor of like Cleveland being front row at like a WWE show, right? They just don't do that. But like in Japan, they just have this respect for like, well, there's this important show that's happening in my city, and I need to be there as the public official and representative and watch a bunch of guys punch each other in the face.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time too, they probably are at that show, but we don't have that respect and preference for our political leaders because they're kind of crap. Let's be honest.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Let's be honest. Because I know of times where mayors have been at different shows for whatever. Okay. Like, cool. So like, for example, I know that when WWE first started back on the road, which was in Fort Worth, which is about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Dickies Arena is about 30 minutes away from my house in the East in Fort Worth. I do know that the mayor was there because it was the first touring event. They were first to be back on. Well,
there you go. Yeah,
and the mayor of Dallas was at Raw the next night in Dallas. So, cool. But that wasn't on TV because it's not Bad Bunny. It's not celebrities. That's not going to pop people. Half the time you show a politician on your screen, and we're going to be like, "Boo! Get out of here!"
Either boo or just indifferent silence.
Yeah, like whatever. So. But which sometimes if a politician came across my screen, it would make me like a sad strawberry. What do you call a sad strawberry? A blueberry.
A blueberry. Yes, you'd be a blueberry if you saw whatever name any local politician. But yes, anyways, I just wanted to point that out. What was our first block match here?
Block match. And I talked about this earlier. The only match I saw ahead of time was the Monster Sauce and Lube match versus Atlantis Jr. and Soberano.
You got it. There we go.
Let's go on the last one. Last one I'm saying it. Soberano Jr. That match. It was a really good match. And again, just like the 2 nights before, Monster Sauce loses the 6-man match, which is fine. It's not a big deal. So our block match A, we have Shota Umino and Rin Narita, and they defeat the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona. Again, I'm surprised that this went the way it did, if I'm honest. I'm surprised that we now have Gates of Agony down 0-3 walking into block A of World Tag League. I thought for sure this was going to be the night they got to win.
It's kind of. I think this shows the limits of Tony Khan's booking stroke, where usually he has all his guys go over, but apparently that doesn't extend to Gates of Agony. Yeah, they're 0-3 at this point.
Right, but I mean, granted, so for example, you have all 4 of these guys are new to World Tag League, right? But Shota and Rin are New Japan product versus Ring of Honor product and Khan and Leona. And so they go, you know what? Let's go with the guys we know, which are these guys. And both are all new. So let's just give the win to these guys, even though one's hasn't gotten any wins yet with Gates of Agony and Shota and Ren. They had a loss and they had a win. So let's go ahead and make them 2-1. Let's not give the other guys a win yet. Which I found real interesting because, boy, the look of these two compared to Shota and Ren, the way, if you're just going to go by the eyeball test, I would have thought Shota and Ren would have not gotten the win in here, just from the eyeball test. But like solid match. I don't feel like there was anything in this match that was super egregious or made me go, other than the final, like the end of it was a little surprising, for the win here. But
a little bit, yeah. I think my main takeaway, and it's kind of been discussed on the last episode of the show, is I just think there is when you watch Shota and Ren together, it really shows how I think Shota has it a lot more put together than Ren does, as far as just that in-ring charisma, right? Like Shota has really taken a bunch of leaps and bounds in the last few months and is really engaging to watch. And Ren is good. Ren doesn't stink it up in there, but Ren just doesn't. He just needs to figure out how to really make that intensity really pop off the screen. He's just not popping off the screen
right.
But again, he's got time, and I think he can find it. He just needs to have the right kind of setting and the right character, and I don't know, maybe the right motivation. So we'll see.
True. Look, but I'm willing to put up with it because he's a young guy still, and he's going to learn. Like Great Khan, when he first showed up with his gimmick, like how many of us were going to be, oh well, look where he's at now. I mean, It was real ridiculous to begin with. I mean, even Evil in the beginning was real ridiculous, to begin with. And I mean, he's still ridiculous, but in a different way now. And the fact that of how he wrestles now, but I just feel like time will help, and the more time you spend in the character, the more you begin to define and shape the character and really begin to know it and own it. I feel like right now it's just he's rinse and repeating Shibata, and he's going to have to eventually get on his own, and he'll figure it out.
Agreed.
Whatever that might be. So, but as far as the match goes, it was fine. I don't feel like there was anything super standouty. I don't feel like there was anything crazy. No. And I enjoyed it. It was fine for what it is.
Yep.
Okay, so next was the one I accidentally told the start of earlier, which was Bullet Club War Dogs, Coughlin and Kid versus Chaos of Ishii and Yano, where Ishii and Yano were coming out, and Yano did not get to do anything because the War Dogs jumped out.
No. You got to go the way around.
Did I get it?
The War Dogs were coming out, and Ishii and Yano did what those guys usually do.
What they did last night. Yeah, the night before with Shota. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that I loved that. And it's one of those things that does, though, it highlights the logic gaps in pro wrestling where the second that Gabe Kidd does that to somebody where he jumps them from behind while they're walking out, every guy then subsequently who is facing Gabe Kidd should be head on a swivel, looking to see. But pro wrestling logic doesn't work that way. So every subsequent guy that he faces in the future is just walking out like normal. And oh no, I've been jumped. Dog, you saw that happen a couple days ago.
Right.
What happened to you?
Yeah, you know what's coming, bro.
Yeah, but credit to Ishii and Yano. I love that they did that. And it started like a brawl. I mean, it was kind of an all over the place brawl, but luckily only for 3 or 4 minutes, so it didn't get bogged down in slow kind of walk and brawl stuff. Once they got back in the ring, I thought it was great. Again, it was Alex Coughlin being just an absolute unit and throwing big guys around like they're me. Just he again being extremely impressive. That was pretty great.
Yeah, and again, these two continue to show how impressive they are. Coughlin and Gabe Kidd, the chemistry they have, I really enjoy in the ring as a team, and what they're able to do they're both big, strong boys. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. They're big, strong boys who can throw people around really, really good. And I just really feel like, boy, they're doing a really good job of making these kids feel like they belong. Like, hey, this is my time. You know, because let's be honest, Ishii and Yano have been around for a minute. Like, these are veterans, and it's kind of like, you know, the way I would equate this is like, this felt like a match where it was, you haven't experienced this yet, and I technically still haven't experienced this yet because my son hasn't been able to do it. But like, when your kid beats you in something finally,
Yeah.
you know, like this match felt like that. You know, it felt like that moment where, you know, your kid finally beats the old man without any help or anything along those lines.
Oh, that's a huge moment in a dad's life. Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's beat me in tic-tac-toe a few times. Does that count?
Sure. I'll give that to you.
There you go.
Yeah. You know, but I really do feel like this was, I don't want to say a passing of the torch, but this is a hey, we're up. We're ready to go. We're ready to do and be that next level. And your guys' time has come. And so I just really feel like that was this match in a way with these two teams, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, and really both nights that we watched with War Dogs, they had my favorite match of the night. They just bring an intensity and like a viciousness and a very real kind of meanness to every match where they feel like they're really trying to mess guys up, and I'm always here for it.
Yeah. Well, our next match of the night was our P-break match of the night, which was Team Noah versus House of Torture. And Team Noah wins against Evil and Utero. Again, we had the Dick to Go match where they hold him up, they hold somebody upside down and spread his legs and chop him in the nuts. Like,
yeah. Which
cool.
I did appreciate Chris Charlton with a good choppy, the PP reference there.
Choppy PP reference, yeah.
But you know, the one wrinkle in the House of Torture BS was that Evil did the thing where, and it's been done to me in pickup basketball games where like somebody who's not on your team like goes behind you and pretends like they're on your team and like, hey man, give me the ball, and then you like before, because it's happened to me where I vividly remember in a YMCA game I was like kind of playing well, which is rare for me, and I was like driving down and the guy was like, yo, behind it, and I passed it and it was not a guy on my team and he totally played me. Evil did that to I think Oiwa at some point, like pointed in a different direction where everybody looked, and then he just like kicked him in the dick or something that happened. And that was at least, you know, I'll give Evil credit, a slight wrinkle to the usual nonsense.
Right. But when is it that you're at what point, again, wrestling logic, why are you not wearing a cup when you wrestle these guys?
You should have maximum dick protection. True.
Right? I mean, you have a guy who is on the other team, Dick to Go. I mean, so if anything, you should know, protect your package at all times. You know, I mean, that should be structure number one. Clint Eastwood, that, you know, where, you know, like in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where he put the, you know, the thing on, or like they recreated in Back to the Future 3, you know, put the chest plate on so you can get shot and then, you know, get up, you know. Hello. Come on, McFly. Think, McFly. Think. Let's go. You would think that would happen, but wrestling logic hasn't caught up with that yet for some reason. Again, this is a match. Team Noah gets the win. They go to 2-1 for 4 points, and Evil and Yujiro go to 1-2 with 2 points for the night on that one. And then we come to our main event. Our main event of TMDK, Shane Hayes and Nichols versus United Empire, Grado Khan and Hinare. And I mean, going in, you had to know TMDK was going to win, right? They're 2-0. They were going to go to 3-0. United Empire is good, but they're just not. They're not the same. And in a way, like I love Hinare, I really do. But it feels weird not to have Jeff Cobb in this tournament.
Yeah, do we know why that's the case? Has anybody said?
No, I haven't heard anything. But of course, we haven't seen Jeff Cobb in a while either, though.
It's been a bit. Yeah, I'm a little worried that he might be one of the ones that they've kind of been hinting at on the JCast about maybe his contract being up and him not re-signing. I could see him being an AEW guy, but
yeah, I mean, he could be, but at the same time, too, he's also been known for, his willingness to be a free agent. I mean, I don't know if he really did enjoy his time with AEW because, he was there for literally one match and then left, Oh,
well, he did a couple. He did the Kenny Omega one, but him and
right.
Elton had a couple Forbidden Door, and they showed up on Dynamite once or twice.
He did that under the New Japan banner. I wouldn't count those.
Yes.
I guess I don't count those because the only one I really count is the Kenny Omega one, right?
Okay.
Because he wasn't there as a New Japan contracted thing because he didn't even have a United Empire singlet on at the time. It was just
really interesting.
Yeah, that was early AEW, and there was talk of him going to New Japan, and they did that, and they're like, oh no, maybe AEW signed him, and then he ended up being and signing with New Japan and joining the United Empire. So, he marches to the beat of his own drum. So who knows? Maybe he just wanted time off.
I can't blame him for not wanting to do the tag league. It's perfectly understandable.
Right. And I can understand that. With someone like Jeff Cobb, he's like a bear. You don't tell the bear what to do. But, what do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear.
I'm really pushing the seamless transitions into these jokes. It's just, it's a real work of art.
I try. I do what I can. But,
with this match, what I first thought of when it started was, and they did call this out on commentary, how that match in the G1 between Mikey Nichols and Hanare, where Mikey accidentally dropped Hanare on his head. I think that was night 1 or night 2, where the usually unflappable Kevin Kelly, who would never cuss, even when that happened, even he went shit.
Yeah,
great. But yeah, so I like that, that Hanare is still pissed that happened in D1, months ago, and that carried over into this match, which was great. I also wanted to shout out my other favorite commentary related moment of this match, which was Alex Zayne was on commentary on this night.
Yes.
So on the nights that we watched, we got both members of Monster Sauce, and Shane Hayes got thrown over the barricade, kind of onto the announce table, and Alex Zayne fell over, and his exact line was, geez, Louise, I'm down on the ground. And it really cracked me up. It was,
it's Alex Zayne is an entertaining dude. And that was a good moment. I enjoyed the match. I thought this was a good match, though. I really enjoyed it. I think the right team won. I feel like both of these teams are really, really solid teams. I felt like the chemistry that all four of these guys had was really, really good. And I enjoyed this match. I had a hard time. This was my 1A match of the night. I really liked the Bullet Club War Dogs versus Chaos match. That was match of the night. But boy, this made a really great case for being match of the night as well. I just feel like this was how you end the match, and I feel like this is why TMDK is going to be the A block winner. Look who's getting most of the main event nights. Both nights we watched, who was the main event both nights? TMDK. They're 3-0. I just don't feel like they're going to be in the finals. Yeah,
but it could be the classic Gato booking misdirection of one team, starting out hot and then kind of trailing off toward the end. So you just never know what Gato's going to do there.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like lately his booking has been all over the place.
Yep.
Let's be honest. He has been Captain Swerve City. But sometimes you go into a thing knowing this team is the team to beat, and I feel like TMDK and the A block is the team to beat. Everybody else has to work up to their level. I really feel like that going in. I felt like that going into this thing that, they were going to be the ones to beat. And so far, that's been proven.
Yeah, I think it's them or Shota and Ren. Shota and Ren, I think, have a pretty good case for, being featured on Wrestle Kingdom. I think that's really like the only reason I think that, but I think it's a pretty good reason to think that they might get there.
See, I would say it was too early for them. I would say Shota and Ren, like they could be your nipping at the heels, or they could keep, maybe they're the spoilers to keep the War Dogs out, something along those lines. I just don't feel like they're there yet as far as, being featured at Wrestle Kingdom. I feel like TMDK is a better choice out of A Block for that. Like of all the teams in A Block, I feel like the most ready to be featured at Wrestle Kingdom is TMDK. Personally,
I think that might be the case. Yep.
But that ends our watching for this. Although I did get a little confused because when I was looking at the different times, I'm like, okay, what time am I watching? What time? For the 26th, it's they list the times and they start from Pacific Coast to East Coast, and it said 11 o'clock Pacific time on the 25th, and then it said to like 2 o'clock Eastern time on the 26th, and I'm going, wait, what? Like what time is this? Like, wait, I thought we watched on the 25th. What? And then it took me a second to realize, oh no, it's going to start at this time.
In the morning.
At the East Coast, it's 2 a.m. on the East Coast. But if you back that up to the West Coast time, which is at the same time, that is 11 o'clock on West Coast time, which is still the 25th. Okay. Like these overnight scheduling thingies, trying to keep up with the times make me hurt.
It can be a little tough here, us dads trying to keep a schedule together and trying to remember how time zones work. It's a lot. Okay.
It's a lot. And so, if you felt like we stumbled around in the dark with this, that's okay. We're dads. We have a lot going on. But, and we're old, but we're not that old. But we do know why the old man fell into a well, because he couldn't see that well.
Again, haven't heard that one. You're bringing the heat tonight, John. Bringing the heat.
I try. I do what I
Love
can.
It.
I can. But Elliot, I think that's all of our coverage for tonight for the Super DadCast, for everything here. Is there anything you feel like we need to talk about before we send this home?
I think no. I mean, watch your World Tag League at your leisure. Don't watch everything. Watch what feels right for you as a person here and in this crazy world in 2023. And do your thing. Do we have plugs? Do we have stuff we want to?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you now that we're done. Yes, and I'll also remember, don't be a Suki and Gene Blast everywhere. Be Hanare and save it for when it's necessary.
Save your jeans, everybody.
Save your jeans. Oh, God. Gene Blast. Oh, my God. Anyway, Elliot, why don't you tell the lovely people where they can find you on the internet and everything along those lines if they want to hear your opinion on Twitter or whatever platforms you're on?
I'm a little bit on X, formerly known as Twitter. ELLIOTSEMI, Elliot Semi. My last name is Imes. It's Semi is Imes backwards. You can get me on there. I play occasionally in a band called The Book of Bugs, and if you look that up on Spotify, The Book of Bugs, there's an album called No Visitor. I don't play on that album. My friend Derek played everything on it: the guitar, bass, drums, vocals, and all that. I do guest vocals on one song in the first song, so if you check that out. But yeah, we're playing a show next month. Unless you live in Des Moines, Iowa, you're not going to see it. But hit me up if you want to find out about that. So that's my main plug. But I also, like I did last year, I got to plug Voices of Wrestling. We're on the network. Subscribe to the flagship Patreon. It is, I think, the best wrestling analysis that you're going to find out there. If you're a person who appreciates both the current wrestling but also wrestling history, they do it all. Joe and Rich, again, I know I'm blowing smoke, but it's genuine. Those guys do excellent work. So subscribe to Voices of Wrestling flagship Patreon.
Hey, there you go. And of course, you can always find me as Elliot sees. It says it right here, but the rest of you can find me on the internet, JReezyMin on TikTok, Instagram, and the X or Twitter, or however you want to call it. I don't know. I'm an old man. I get used to my ways, so I'm probably going to always call it Twitter for the rest of my life. I'm not going to call it X. That just seems dumb. So you can find me there and all that kind of stuff. I guess I won't plug my wrestling podcast that I do normally, which covers SmackDown, but I will plug my Star Trek podcast because I am a giant nerd that I've been doing for a while. It's called the Academy podcast. You can find it on the Hameen Media Group on Spotify or other your podcasters of choice. So if you like to hear some fun and interesting takes on Star Trek, with me and my friend Triple D, we talk Star Trek a good bit. He's been having going through some stuff, so we haven't been able to talk the most recent Lower Decks or things along those lines. But it's really, really good stuff if you want to check it out as well. And other than that, just always remember to make sure to check in your areas about your crisis center, their local needs, what they have. Every area has some kind of crisis center that needs some kind of help. Their shelters can always use products, toilet paper, other things like that. Some of our biggest needs are diapers, toilet paper, things. If you're interested in contributing, because it's going to be the end of the year here, and you need to do something for your taxes, and you want to get something to get a little tax credit, you can always look up freedomhousepc.org here in Weatherford and see how you can donate or give to some of the things that we might need. And guess what? When you give, you get a little receipt and you get a tax credit for it. So, hey, win-win. You help us out and you get a little tax break for it as well. It feels dirty to say that, but it's also a great way to kind of like, hey, just do it. Just fun. It'll be good stuff. Just do it. Just be nice. Just be a good human. So with that said, I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today. That's what we're going to go out on. I hope you've had a great time on the DadCast. And as we say, as always, goodbye. And until next year, we hope that you have a Dad-tastic day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the podcast all about Joshi Pro Wrestling here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Every other Monday, we are with you talking about the biggest news in Joshi, along with show reviews, previews, and much, much more.
So if you're new to Joshi or you've been a longtime fan, this is the show for you. We've got something for everyone here. So check us out, Jumping Bomb Audio.